I recently went to Japan and thought it would be fun to share with you what I did and exactly how much I spent. This is just my experience as someone who has family in Japan and has been many times. I also went on this trip with my partner Michelle, so I split some of the cost of things between us where it made sense. With that said, let's jump right in. On this trip we explored Kyoto, Tokyo, Disney Sea, Tsukiji's Outer Market, and so much more. We flew Zip Air out of San Jose to Narita Airport, which was about an 11-hour flight. Zip Air is Japan's budget airline, and my tickets were $863 round trip including meals. When we arrived at Narita Airport, I picked up our JR passes and took the Narita Express train to Shinjuku Station, where we grabbed some dinner to go and transferred to the Shinkansen or bullet train all the way to Kyoto. Once we got to Kyoto Station, it was just a short walk to our hotel where we spent the night. Our room was super tiny and only cost $57, which was fine since we basically checked in at night and were out the next morning for our first actual day of the trip. We ate our convenience store breakfast and by 7 a.m. we were on the bus to our first stop in Kyoto, the Hokanji Temple. The bus here cost 230 yen that we paid using our Suica cards, which is one of the many transit cards available in Japan. The Hokanji Temple was interesting to see, but I was mostly there to fulfill my duties as an Instagram boyfriend. I was okay with it though because the temple is just a block away from somewhere I really wanted to go, which was this famous Starbucks built in a traditional Japanese building. The floors are covered in tatami mats, and the overall vibe felt really authentic for what was basically a glorified Starbucks. After enjoying a nice warm latte and getting my caffeine boost, Michelle and I headed out to our next stop, the Fushimi Inari Shrine. The Fushimi Inari Shrine is the main shrine dedicated to Inari, the Shinto god of rice and agriculture. Behind the shrine are paths up the mountain, lined by thousands of torii gates, which symbolize entering into the realm of the sacred. We didn't have time to do the entire 2-hour hike up the mountain because we had tickets to one of the most fun and unique shows I've ever experienced called Gear. But first, we stopped by Moss Burger, which is a fast food burger chain popular in Japan. I got their limited edition Torotama cheese teriyaki burger. The flavorful teriyaki patty balanced perfectly with a soft-boiled egg and buttery smooth cheese to make the perfect burger. After lunch, we walked over to watch Gear, a heartwarming show set in the distant future about a group of robots and a doll learning what it means to be human. The show had dancing, miming, magic, juggling, crazy set effects, and so much more. Best of all, the entire story is given through the characters' actions with no speaking, so you don't need to know any Japanese to enjoy this experience. Honestly, 10 out of 10, highly recommend to anyone visiting Kyoto. After Gear, we made our way to Arashiyama to check out the Rilakkuma and Miffy stores. I got this Rilakkuma handkerchief, which I knew I needed because most public restrooms in Japan don't have paper towels or hand dryers. We were going to go to the nearby bamboo forest, but it started pouring rain, so we just headed back to our hotel to grab our bags, pick up some food at the station, and make the long trip back to Tokyo. Our JR passes covered the Shinkansen ride, and by 9 p.m., we were at our hotel in Tokyo, ready to get some rest for what was sure to be a fun next day. Day 2 kicked off with a trip to the Gyukatsu Temple, but first we picked up a 3-day Tokyo subway pass for 1,500 yen, which gives unlimited rides on any of the Tokyo subway lines. Gyukatsu Temple is known as the supposed origin place of the Maneki Neko, which is a cat figurine said to bring good fortune to its owner. Here, there are thousands of Maneki Neko to see, including 2 that apparently PewDiePie and Marzia placed. Let me know if that's true or not. From there, we took the train to Shirohige's Cream Puff Factory. They are most famous for their Totoro-shaped cream puffs, as this small bakery is the only one in the whole world that's allowed to make these Totoro cream puffs, since the owner is the sister-in-law of the famous Studio Ghibli founder Hayao Miyazaki. Michelle and I shared 1 chocolate and 1 strawberry cream puff, which totaled 1,080 yen. After eating our cream puffs, we had some time to fill, so we took a train to the Pokemon Center in Nihonbashi. The Pokemon Center had a bunch of cute stuff in it, but I didn't get anything because all I really wanted was some Ditto-themed plushies, which they didn't have. On the way out, my eyes caught this sign for a Melon of Melon Frappuccino. It's a blended iced drink with honeydew and a lot of cantaloupe chunks mixed in, topped with a unique melon-flavored whipped cream. So good. After enjoying the drink, we took a train down to Egg Baby Cafe, where we picked up this delicious egg sandwich with fries that we rushed back to the hotel to eat. We then headed to Shibuya to meet up with my friend Tristan, where we did some touristy stuff like checking out the Hachiko statue, watching the Shibuya crossing, and exploring the fun shops in the Parco building. After exploring for a bit, we went to Kura Sushi. Kura is an affordable but delicious revolving sushi chain where most plates only cost 132 yen. I had 10 plates, which was only 1,320 yen total. Also, after every 5 plates, you can put your plates in this gacha machine for a chance to win a prize, and I actually won some Demon Slayer washi tape. After sushi, we went to a nearby convenience store to grab some coolish ice cream, which is this ice cream in a pouch, and then took the train back to the hotel to call it a day so we could get some rest before tomorrow, which was going to be an awesome day at Tokyo Disney Sea. Day 3, we woke up nice and early to arrive at Tokyo Disney Sea by 8 a.m. Although the park wasn't scheduled to open for another hour, there were already tons of people waiting to get in. I'll give my ratings for everything I did and ate, but if you've been here before, let me know how you would rate things. We got in and booked it straight to Soaring Fantastic Flight, which is an awesome ride where you feel like you're flying around the world. 9 out of 10. Then we went straight to Journey to the Center of the Earth, which had no wait. Also a 9 out of 10. We grabbed a gyoza sausage bun nearby, 7 out of 10. Then rode 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was kind of boring, 4 out of 10. Next we grabbed these Toy Story themed sweet dumplings, a solid 8 out of 10 dessert, followed by the classic Indiana Jones ride, 8 out of 10. Our next snack was this shrimp and chicken katsu roll. It was pretty good, 8 out of 10. From there, we went over to watch Big Band Beat, which is a swing jazz show performed by Mickey and his friends and was easily a highlight of the day, 10 out of 10. From there, we rode a personal favorite of mine, the Tower of Terror. It was kind of crazy because someone didn't have their Ham from Toy Story hat held down, so when the ride dropped, it started floating in the air right in front of me and I caught it mid-fall. After that, we grabbed the Mickey Ukiwamen bun, which is this fluffy bread with savory chicken inside, and it's the only food item that I'd give a 10 out of 10. We then rode the gondolas, which was such a great experience, 9 out of 10, and I grabbed a coffee tapioca latte, 8 out of 10, and Mike's Melon Bread, also an 8 out of 10. From there, we made our way to Toy Story Mania, which is this 3D moving arcade game where you can compete with the person you're with. I was crushing Michelle in every single round, but she somehow jumped ahead in the final round and won. -1 million out of 10. We then boarded the SS Columbia to see if we could catch a glimpse of Mount Fuji, but the weather was not having it. At this point, it was 5:30 p.m., so we grabbed mabo tofu for dinner with a side of spring rolls, 7 out of 10. As we started to close out our day, we rode Sinbad's Storybook Voyage, which is one of those classic ride a boat through an animatronic story type of rides. It was actually really good, 9 out of 10. At 7:30, we watched the Believe Sea of Dreams show, which is this musical show held in the center of the park and was absolutely stunning to watch. These videos don't do it justice, and if I show more, Mickey will copyright strike me, so just trust me that it's a must-see if you can stick around this late. 11 out of 10. We finished off our day with a ride on the merry-go-round, which is 10 times better at night, and by watching the fireworks, which closes out our exhausting 13-hour day at Disney Sea. On day 4, we explored Tsukiji's outer market. I'm not a big fan of seafood, so I mostly went for Michelle, but I did get this fantastic tamagoyaki, which is a grilled rolled egg. It was soft and sweet and only 100 yen. Michelle got a cod mayo croquette and some strawberry treats. I also really wanted to go to this tiny shop just outside the market that sold shrimp katsu sandwiches for only 220 yen. You know it's gonna be good when the sweet obasans are making it, and this one was no exception. We then went to Mega Don Quijote, which is a huge 7-story discount store, but I just got a few drinks that I wanted to try. Next on the agenda was Team Lab Planets, after grabbing a juicy Famichiki fried chicken on the way, of course. Team Lab Planets is an immersive art exhibit where you walk through water, a bunch of very Instagrammable rooms, and a very unique garden area. The experience cost 3,200 yen, and I'd say it was worth it. Once we finished up at Team Labs, we went to the 2D Cafe in Shin Okubo. This is a cafe designed in a way to make it look 2D. We got a very underwhelming cake and strawberry drink for 1,520 yen, but at least we got some cool pictures out of it. Anyways, we then walked over to Shinjuku to snap some pics of the Godzilla statue, see the 3D cat billboard, walk through this food alley called Omoide Yokocho, and lastly grab some ramen at Ichiran, which is a casual ramen spot where you sit at an individual counter space and everything is ordered through machines and paper slips, so you don't have to talk to anyone. Talk about an introvert's dream. With dinner taken care of, we headed back to the hotel to call it a night. Over the next few days of the trip, I split off from Michelle to spend some time with my family in Nagano, while Michelle stayed in Tokyo to hang out with her friends. I pretty much didn't spend money on this part of the trip, outside of breakfast on the day that I was heading there, since the JR Pass covered my train rides and I was able to stay with my grandparents. I also didn't take videos because I'm a terrible content creator, so I'll just skip this part of the trip. Once I returned to Tokyo, I took the train to Ikebukuro to meet up with Tristan again, grab some boba, and explore the area. For dinner, Michelle met up with us and we got Gyukatsu Motomura, which serves the most delicious, tender beef cutlets I've ever had. You cook the beef yourself, and it comes with a variety of side dishes. It was easily the best meal I had throughout my entire trip, and I highly recommend it. Then we walked over to Sunshine City, which is this massive indoor shopping mall. We were in the mood for dessert, so we got Creamia, which is a super rich, melt-in-your-mouth ice cream from Hokkaido in a sweet biscuit cone that's very similar to a Milano. Afterwards, I got some gifts for friends, after which we went to this gachapon store, which is actually the largest in the whole world with about 3,000 machines. My favorite prize was definitely this Mana Ray pancake keychain. Look how cute it is. This wrapped up our day, so we headed back to the hotel to get some rest for our travel day back home. On the final day, we took the train to Narita Airport, which unfortunately I did have to pay for because my JR pass had expired by this point, but thankfully the price wasn't too bad. At the airport, I bought this souvenir Nagano mug from the Starbucks Been There series. This is something I was looking for in Nagano, but it was sold out everywhere, so I was super happy to find it at the airport, as Nagano has always felt like a second home to me. For lunch, we grabbed an ebi filet from McDonald's, which is like a filet of fish, but with shrimp and is only available in Japan. We had a couple hours before the flight as well, so we spent 1,220 yen each on their airport lounge, which was pretty nice, especially since they had free snacks and drinks included. And that was where we stayed until it was finally time to fly back home. Now I can share how much I've spent in total on my trip to Japan. But first, I really want to reiterate that my trip is probably not the typical trip to Japan. With that said, the total for my trip came out to 240,000 yen, or about $1,800 at the time of my trip. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed sharing this experience with me, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are as well. See you next time!